Hmm. All right. Thank you for coming in today to a mindful flow session. We are just going to kind of move through a full body flow. I wanted us to work on the half moon shape. So if that's new for some of you, I'll invite you to take blocks to the top of your mat. And then I'll just work a little bit of standing balance. So we're going to come into a seated position, beginning to align the length of our spine. You can choose to soften your eyes, maybe down to the floor, or begin to take your eyelids together. And just begin to allow yourself to transition into this space. Begin to take note of all of the sensations moving throughout your body. And again, observe any thoughts moving through your mind. Begin to acknowledge these fluctuations in the mind as a normal piece of this practice that we call mindfulness. And then allow them to be there without controlling your experience. Draw attention to your breath, the texture and the pattern and depth of your breath. And from this space, as we arrive present here, I invite you to afford yourself some grace, giving yourself permission to move in whatever shapes or forms that feel nurturing today, modifying as you need. And we'll just begin to invite in this awareness of breath to our entire body, linking movement of our body with this quality of breath. As you inhale, circle the arms over your head. And as you exhale, take the hands down through the center line of your body. Inhale, spread your hands apart to the sides of the room. And exhale, hands down to the floor. And we'll just do that sequence 2 more times. Inhale, lifting your arms, reaching through the waist. Exhale, guiding the palms down through the torso, perhaps pushing the palms together, maybe a pound or 2. Inhale, arms separate off to the sides. Exhale, hands back down to the earth. And let's just do that one more. Matching movement of breath with movement of body. Inhale, extend the arms up. And as you exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, arms through center. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, twist. One more time. And then inhale, arms through neutral. From here, I want you to interlace your fingers and press the palms towards the ceiling. Soften the shoulders. And let's reach through the right side of our body. Taking the hands back up, perhaps looking up and then switching sides. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, release your hands. Let's go to table. Coming onto your hands and your knees, of course, cushioning with a blanket if that's accessible. And then evenly placing your hands and your knees apart. We're just going to get into the shoulder tissues a little bit. So we're going to push, push, push our hands into the floor as if we're separating our shoulder blades. We're trying to create this flat upper back to where we could rest a plate between our shoulder blades. And then when you're ready, I want you to release all of the pressure of your hands and notice how your torso gently drops. Inhale, push firmly into the floor, separate the shoulder blades, and then release all of that pressure, hollowing out the scapula. One more. And then returning to table, neutral spine, and then a cat-cow shape. So just finding some movement through the spinal tissues, lifting the torso, tilting the pelvis forward, rolling the shoulders down the back. And then when you're in this arched shape, we're gonna take the left hip over to the left and look behind our left shoulder. Finding a little bit of flexion in our spine. Keeping this arch in the spine, return your torso to neutral, and then tilt your right hip off to the side, look over your right shoulder. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, push into the earth. Inhale, draw the pelvis forward, lift the torso. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin. Inhale, neutral. Breathe here. Extend your right arm forward, the left leg backward. Toes can always stay on the floor for extra grounding. And then draw the navel in, focus the rib cage into the spine. And then as you're ready, draw the right elbow in towards the left knee, round the back. Then inhale, extend the shape. Exhale, compact the shape. One more. And then replace the hand and replace the knee back down to the mat. Inhale, left arm forward, right leg back. Finding stability and a sense of groundedness. And then when you're ready, draw the elbow to knee. Engage the core, round the spine. Inhale, lift. Exhale, draw the elbow to knee. One more. And then return hand and knee. Walk your hands forward a few inches. Squeeze the inner thigh bones, lift the knees an inch. And then directing the hips up and back, begin to lengthen your spine, downward facing dog. And just adjusting here, pedaling through your feet, swaying your hips. Letting out any sound, any extra energy held inside. And then finding stillness. Inhale, reach your right leg straight up. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Adjust your stance, lift your back heel, and then take your hands up. High crescent lunge. Exhale, bend your elbows, maybe look up. Inhale, arms overhead. And then I want you to twist over to the right. Reach your right arm back and your left arm forward. Then inhale, left arm lifts up towards the ceiling. Exhale back into the twist. One more time. Inhale, left arm lifts, torso lifts, and then exhale, twist. Inhale, arms back to center. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step the front foot back, plank. Adjusting in plank, and then moving through an optional vinyasa. I like to lower my knees, bend my elbows, lower the chest down. Roll the shoulders back and find a gentle back bend in cobra. Then exhale to the floor, pause here. Engage the space of the upper back. Using the strength of the back, let's lift the torso. Focus on a point in front of you. And then exhale to the floor. Push into the floor, lift up through table or plank. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels high. Exhale, bend your knees and find the top of your mat. Hands can come to blocks or your shins. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms lift all the way over our head. And then hands come down through chest center. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, bend the knees, fold forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, plant your feet, plant your hands and step your right foot back. High crescent lunge. Inhale, arms over your head. And then exhale, arms off to the sides. And I'm just going to start to swing my arms back and forth. Bring the arms over your head. And then back down to the mat. Step to plank. And downward facing dog. Again, inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, left knee draws forward. We plant the foot, high crescent lunge. And then I want you to twist, reaching over to the left. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Lengthen through the torso. And then twist. 2 more times. Adjusting so you feel balanced in your body. And then unwinding the twist. Planting your hands on the floor, stepping back to plank. Inhale, shoulders over wrists, and then exhale, slowly bend the elbows all the way down to the floor, push into the mat, lift the chest. From here, downward dog. Engage the core, lift the hips up and back. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, walk or step forward. Halfway lift. And then a heavy sigh as you fold. 3 deep breaths. Halfway lift, inhale, flat back, lift your chest forward, exhale, bow. Ground down through your heels as you lift your whole body up, circling the arms over your head, maybe a gentle back bend, lifting the eyes, and then back to the torso. Inhale, arms lift, exhale, bow. Plant your hands, step your left leg back, high crescent lunge. And then arms off to the side. And then if this feels good for you, an rotating action through the shoulder muscles. And then taking the arms above your head and down to the floor. Step the back foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Finding a chair, bend your knees, sit your hips low, reach your arms over your head. And then rotate the pinkies inward. So we're opening throughout the shoulders. From here, we'll stand up, lift the right knee to the chest, and then bend the left knee as you send the right leg all the way back. And when it comes back, warrior two, pivot the right heel down and open your arms to a T. And just take a moment to find steadiness and ease. Becoming present with the quality of your breath. Inhale, left arm forward. Exhale, reverse the warrior, reach the left arm up, lengthening through the left side of the body. And then exhale, side angle. Left forearm to thigh, right arm reaches up. Pivot the right shoulder down to the floor, unwind, plant your hands, lift your back heel. Step back, plank. Side plank, pivot over to the right. I'm gonna take a modified plank today, using a kickstand with the left foot. Pushing firmly down into that right hand, right forearm. And then making your way back to plank. Adjusting. And opening up on the left, side plank, Vashisthasana. One more breath. And then pivoting back to plank. And shifting to downward facing dog. Pause here. Take a moment to anchor down into all four corners of your hands and your feet. Inhale, lift your hips high. Exhale, bend your knees and walk forward. Push into the shins or blocks, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Finding a chair, sitting your hips low, bending your knees and taking your arms over your head if that's safe. And then we're standing tall, lifting the left knee to the chest. Micro bend into that the right knee, and then step the left leg back. When you land, pivot the heel all the way down to the floor and open your arms up to the side, warrior two. Soften any extra resistance, paying attention to the eyes, the mouth, the neck. Inhale, right arm forward and up. And release, side angle, right forearm to the thigh, left arm lifts. Ground down evenly through both feet, strong in your legs. One steady breath. And then pivot the left shoulder down, unwind the shape, hands to the floor, back foot steps forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand. And then exhale, release your arms. Pause here, Tadasana. And just anchoring back to the present moment by taking note of the sensations around you, the sounds, the temperature of the air, the texture of the clothes on your body, and the quality of breath. Inhale, reaching your arms over your head, and then exhale, bend your knees, fold forward. Walk your feet back to plank. Keeping this steady foundation, pushing the hands into the floor. Let's rock our heels over to the right, touching the heels down to the floor, engaging the core. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Give it a go. Inhale through neutral, inviting the hips to stay sturdy. One more time each side. And then lower your knees, shift your hips back to your heels, child's pose, wisdom pose. Taking a moment to afford yourself some grace, treating your mind and your body with a sense of gentleness. Walk your arms out in front of you and over to your left, reaching through the right side of the body. Inhale, arms through neutral, maybe reach a little farther, and then over to the right. Extend your arms back forward. Push the palms into the floor, and we're going to slide our body all the way onto the mat. Take your hands back by your hips, rotate the palms down, and then press the palms into the floor. See how that might awaken the upper back muscles. Keep those engaged, and then lift the arms, lift the chest. Exhale to the floor. Keeping the upper body engaged, we'll lift our legs as well. Tuck the navel in. Inhale, legs lift, arms lift, chest lifts. Exhale, release. Move through one more round at your own pace. And then releasing all the way to the floor. Let's go ahead and take the forearms forward, finding a sphinx, a gentle sphinx. We're gonna align our shoulders over our elbows, and then pull your palms back like you're gripping the mat. One more breath.
Release the body down. Plant your hands by your ribs. Press up through table or plank, you choose. And shift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Bend into your knee and reach your foot over to the left. And then from here, I like to take this pumping action with my heel, reaching my heel towards my glute, and then reaching the leg long, and just pumping the heel back and forth. Then inhale, lengthen the leg back to neutral. Notice how this squares off the hips. And then step the right foot forward, warrior two, pivot the back heel down, and lift your arms to a T. So notice how the front hip is already externally open. We're gonna keep that, keeping the legs really engaged, and we're gonna come into a half moon. So I'm gonna use my blocks, but if you're not, you're gonna take your hands down to the floor as you float forward onto your front foot. Now this back leg is really strong, pressing towards the back window. Playing with ease and grace in this moment. Bend gently into your front knee, come back to warrior two. And then a quarter turn to the left. Toes point to the left. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to hips. Hinging the hips forward, we're gonna arrive in a fold, taking the hands down in front of us. And there are variations here. Some of us might want to walk the hands forward for this wide downward dog shape. That feels good. Others might prefer a twist, reaching one arm up and then the other. One more steady breath. And slowly lifting the body halfway up, walking the hands and the feet forward, facing the front of the mat, and stepping the back foot forward. Inhale, chair, bend your knees, sit your hips low. This time, hands come behind, interlace the fingers. And then take a moment to lift your toes. Pressing down through the arches of the feet. And fold forward. Release your hands down to the floor. Step your right leg back and your left leg back. Holding plank. Option to take a vinyasa or just move to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Bend your knee and reach your foot over to the right. And then begin to lengthen and bend, pumping the heel back and forth. Inhale, extend the legs straight back, point your toes down, neutralize the hips, and then step the left foot forward. Pivot the back heel down, warrior two. Arms open up to the sides. So we're pushing firmly into that front foot, tracking our hand towards that block or the floor, maintaining strength in the core, and then floating to a half moon, taking weight into the front foot, lifting the back leg, and adjusting, playing with balance, being mindful with what's true for you today. Reaching the right foot back. And then playing with bending the front knee, softening the back foot down, warrior two. Cartwheel the hands all the way down. Step the front foot back, plank. Lower the knees. This time Anahata Asana, so the hips are high and the arms are gonna walk out in front. And if that ever feels too intense, then play with bending one arm at a time, resting the forehead on the forearm of your bent arm. Stay here for 3 more breaths. And then beginning to walk the hands back underneath of the shoulders into table. We're gonna walk the hands just a couple inches over to the left. And then we're gonna find a cat-cow shape here. So it feels kind of different, but nice at the same time. A little bit of spine, of C shape in the upper back. Pushing into the floor, rounding the spine, and then lifting the torso, tilting the pelvis forward. Walk the hands through center and over to the right, a couple inches. Inhale, chest lifts, pelvis tilts forward. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin. One more. And then neutralize the hands. From table, step the right foot forward. You can lengthen your left leg back, finding this low Anjaneyasana, low crescent lunge. Take your hands up to your knee, and then reach your right arm back. Inhale, arms draw through center. And then exhale, plant the hands inside of your right foot. Pivot to your right foot off of the mat. I like to stay here. Some folks might lower the forearms to the floor or support the hands with blocks. Take note of where you might be able to soften. Recognizing any fluctuations in your mind as normal and okay. And then gracefully bringing your mind back to the present moment on your mat. One more round of a breath. And then slowly let's start to lengthen that front leg, leaning our weight back to our left, and then pivoting back into the right knee. So just moving back and forth, lengthening and bending. And then walk the right foot back in between your hands and step the foot back, table. Left foot steps forward, right leg extends back, and then we rise, finding this low lunge. From there, left arm opens to a twist. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, hands inside of the left foot. The left foot pivots off the mat. And then you can choose what variation's best for you. And finding a rocking motion, lengthening the left leg and bending back into the knee. And then pause in neutral. Walk your left foot back in. Step back to table. And then come to sit on your heels for a moment. Extend your arms open. And then reach the arms across the body, hanging onto your shoulders here for a moment. Tuck your chin towards your torso. Inhale, open your arms, open your chest, look up, and switch. Cross your other arm on top, reaching for your shoulders. Tuck your chin. Inhale, open. And exhale, fingers down to the floor. Pause there, drawing in a sense of safety from the ground into your fingertips, through your arms, up to your head. And then shifting off your hips, and go ahead and come onto your back. I like this a lot for the hips. We'll keep our one foot bent. Let's say the left foot is going to stay on the floor. And then we're going to take the right heel towards the left glute, letting the right leg open. From there, my right arm is reaching above my head. And I'll invite you here to return awareness to the whole body, the front plane of the body, the back plane of the body, and the sides of the body. Begin to observe what it feels like to breathe into the right side of your body. Following the pattern of your own breath, expanding and releasing. Draw attention back to any external distractions, any sounds, any sensations in your room or around your body. And then release your right arm back down by your waist and unwind your right leg, taking your feet flat. Spread your feet as wide as your mat and rock your knees side to side. And then transition to the left, taking the left heel over to the right glute, letting the left leg open. Left arm extends over our head. Begin to invite a quality of softness into your tissues, letting your tissues begin to soften into the support of the floor. And then guiding the left arm back down by your waist, unwinding the left leg. Let's find a bridge, drawing the heels as close in towards your body as comfortable, letting your arms be long, and then grounding the heels down into the floor, lifting the top of the hip points up. Imagine sliding the mat back with your heels, keeping your knees stacked right over your ankles. One more breath. And then let the whole body come down to the floor. Extend your legs long. Take your hands under your glutes. Palms are on the floor. At first, keep your chin tucked. And then we're going to push the forearms into the floor, stacking the shoulders over the elbows. And you can look back. This is quite a lot on the throat and the neck, so be gentle. You can always keep your chin tucked. And then ever so gently making your way back to the floor, drawing your knees into your torso, feeling the back of the body press into the floor. Cross your right leg over your left leg, and then reach for either calf or shin. If you have that connection, then imagine pulling your feet away from each other. And then when you have that shape, you can rest your head, soften your shoulders again, and just become present to the sensations around your hips. And then see what might change if you flexed your feet, spreading your toes wide. Release, reaching the legs into the sky. Roll around the ankles. And then switch, crossing the left leg over the right, bending the knees, and then reaching for either shin. Flexing the toes. And in your own time, releasing that shape, letting the feet come flat, and making any final movements before our rest. And then just taking care to set yourself up in a place that is nourishing. Evenly place the back of the body, softening the skull, balancing the shoulder blades down, releasing any held tension throughout your spine, your legs, your calves, and your feet. And as you witness any extra sensations, allow them to pass through your experience, welcoming you back to the ease and rest of your mat. Return attention to your breath,
Drawing a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Part your lips and let out a gentle sigh. And we'll do that one more time. Begin to externalize your attention, reawakening your physical body, moving your hands, your toes. And at your own pace, you can choose to rock over to one side and then slowly lift yourself back up to a seat. And as you arrive, take care to lengthen through your spine and observe all of the ways in which you feel different after class. And acknowledge the ways in which you might still feel the same. And let's guide our hands somewhere in towards our chest in a gesture of gratitude. And I'll thank you for joining me today and sharing your time and your practice with me. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Namaste. Thank you. Okay. Let me go see if this is on.